Remember, reliance on the Gary Owens horoscope is a matter of personal choice, left entirely to you. However, only an ignorant, superstitious klutz would fail to realize it is all based upon solid, reasonable scientific information. Aquarius. Avoid hitting an enraged Bengal tiger with a pool cue between the hours of 7 p.m. and midnight. Withdraw all your money from banks and invest it in iguana leashes. Avoid running away with Cloris Leachman in a 1947 Nash between now and noon of the year 2000. Pisces. Avoid September. Aries. If your sun sign is in its 12th house, do not stuff kumquats up your nose while taking dictation. Avoid contact with poison asps if they are either Scorpios or Cancers. Between noon and sundown, do not hit Hugh O'Brien with a bowl of fried mush. December 13th would be a good day to mail Walter Cronkite to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, especially if you want to get him there by Christmas. Taurus. If you are a Taurian, it is better to be a South Taurian than a North Taurian. This is a good day to start a riot if you are enrolled in a correspondence school. Send them an envelope with rocks in it. Gemini. A good day for Gemini. The horoscope says you should invest all your money in the commercial production of tarantula larvae between the hours of 3 p.m. and midnight. Cancer. Get a checkup. Leo. File your teeth in the presence of someone nervous. Avoid business dealings with Howard Hughes in noisy, crowded restaurants. Drop any friends who are Geminis, Scorpios, Cancers, or have distemper. Your sun sign indicates it would be an opportune time to con President Wilson into that ambassadorship of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Remember, reliance on these astrological forecasts are left solely to the listener. The producers of this record neither confirm nor deny their reliability. We're forced to say that. But you know it is the real stuff.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for that sensational new game show, Win That Dwarf. That's right. Each of our contestants has a chance to win one of these entertaining little guys for his very own. Think of the fun you can have with these wee people. You can buy them popcorn and watch them eat, take pictures of them on a horse, or show them slides of Guam. And now, here's your host, the man who makes millions of housewives' plots, Gary Owens.
Thank you, Lenny. Thank you. And welcome to Win That Dwarf. As you know, all you have to do to win one is correctly answer one of these questions from our mystery board. And now, here's our first contestant, Mrs. Betty Lou Hortz, a housewife.
That's horse.
I beg your pardon. That's Betty Lou Horse, a housewife.
No. It's Betty Lou Hortz, but I'm a horsewife. You see, my husband is a horse. I'm married to a horse.
Oh, isn't that a little unusual?
Well, now that you mention it, I guess it is.
Fine. Do you know how to play our game?
Yes, I do.
Then just select one of 10 categories from our mystery board.
Well, let's see. I'm very good at mathematics, so I'll take Category 3, numbers.
Numbers is Category 2.
Does that mean I don't get the dwarf?
No, that only means you must stick with your first selection, Category number 3, entitled Pay Attention.
What did you say? I wasn't listening.
I'm going to read a list of 10 words, each beginning with the letter B. You have to pay attention because when I'm through, you must repeat them to me. Have you got that?
Have you got that?
No, I haven't started yet.
No, I haven't started yet.
Shut up. Here goes. Beef, baby, barn, birds, beautician, blimp, bandage, brown, bishop, and botulism. Are you ready?
Yes.
Then go!
A Guatemala, hornet, earring, rake, pumpkin, lamp, marble, dove, 17, don't tell me, let me see.
Sorry.
That's it, sorry, thank you.
No, Mrs. Hort, you answered incorrectly.
Well, which one did I get wrong?
All of them.
I thought so.
However, no one goes away empty-handed. We're going to give you a consolation prize.
What is it?
A year's supply of locusts. And here they come to carry you off.
Oh! They're picking me up.
Goodbye, Betty Lou.
I love it. Goodbye.
That's Win That Dwarf for today. But be sure to stay tuned for the game show for idiots called Lift Both Feet and Go Boo.
This is Lenny Weinrib speaking, and this is the Zookmeister Broadcasting System.
A tip to you gardeners. Tomorrow, when you wash your tree roots, do it this way until at least sundown. Wash only roots number 1, 3, 5, and 7. And do not wash roots number 2, 4, 6, and 8. In other words, suggests the U.S. Department of Agriculture, use alternate roots until at least 5:15 p.m. And now another chapter in the continuing story of The Sky is My Partner. As we last left Marge Hammond, she had just eaten a live hawk to convince Dr. Bailey that she was sane, and that in reality it was Susan Hampshire who climbed into the glove compartment of that 56 Ford. Her plan backfired when the masked lunatic, alias Aga Ben Felkoff, accidentally found the formula for instant pork. Meanwhile, Louise, the fishwoman, just learned from her attorney, Dan Sloan, that her brother Mark had once been a lady wrestler. Distraught, frightened, and half-crazy, she ran from the Brill building and was immediately struck in the forehead by a marsupial in a long gray trench coat. At that same moment across town, Loco Herb, Louise's illegitimate half-brother-in-law, was about to leap into a tub of boiling root beer when he was stopped by a knock at the door.
Don't do that in there.
Please?
No.
Okay.
This turn of events puzzled Detective Sergeant Rick Slade. Also puzzled was Irma Wasserman, the chef's right hand. Irma's father, you will recall, was the Nobel Prize-winning scientist who was the first man to name the moon Bob. We now return to our story as Monsignor Shlomo Watnick searches for his childhood bed in a warehouse.
Little Betty Pooh, are you here?
Tune in again tomorrow as we hear the Baroness Rothschild say,
Barry, guess how much change I've got in my nose.
The family of Norbert T. Krelk, who died yesterday from eating flowers, has requested that friends give someone a long illness in his name.
Recently, a milestone in the history of broadcasting was made when the inmates of the Foonman Home for the Perturbed began transmitting a radio news program from the station that they built, located in a studio shaped like a large bird. You are about to hear one of their broadcasts, which was monitored last Tuesday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wilbur, the Pig Nelson, with the 6 o'clock news. Today in the game room, Monica Durkle challenged Howard Preltz to a fist-eating contest. The contest was called to a draw when neither contestant could find his fist. Entries in the Foonman Institute's essay contest on the theme Guilt Feelings were judged today. The winner was schizophrenic Blanche Guberman for her essay entitled, I Stink, No I Don't. There was one disqualification, however. The entry submitted by Wayne Dubois was judged unacceptable because it was written on the beak of a parrot. And now, it's time for Happy Corner. Wedding bells will be ringing soon for Joan Gerber, a 25-year-old inmate, who today announced her betrothal to a 9-pound bowl of blue Jell-O. This will be her first marriage, his second. A huge welcome was extended today to our newest inmate, Don Rio, who comes to us after successfully repeating the word underpants over 1 million times without sleeping. Mr. Rio was greeted by the welcome lady, Jane Hassler, who curtsied to him, handed him a grass skirt, and hit him in the face with a brick.
A bulletin, bulletin. The meek shall inherit the earth. It pass it on.
And now from Ward C, the Reverend Dave, with a thought for the day.
Luck is like a banana. It's yellow and it slides.
Thank you, Reverend Dave, and I like your new clown outfit. Well, friends, I see by the old clock up on the wall that it's time to say hello for today, but remember to be listening tomorrow when we'll be interviewing Lenny Weinrib and his dancing hamburger, Michael Wiener. Until then, this is Joan of Arc reminding you that a book is only as strong as its weakest link. The following are people who have brought off particularly notable things and therefore deserve the Gary Owens Annual Glur Award. Emo Nurlman. In March of 1971, this man attempted to prove Ralph Nader wrong about the stability of the Foodmobile by running him down at 55 miles per hour. Unfortunately, Mr. Nurlman's car went out of control, and he hit a bus 11 blocks before his planned rendezvous with Nader. Foos Glitzen. Working in the Department of Agriculture, this man developed a 700-pound chicken. The creature was quietly taken off the market after Colonel Sanders ruptured himself and broke a truck axle at the same time. Maud Blurgo. Maud was arrested at a senior citizens rally because, out of sheer coincidence, she had varicose veins that spelled out obscenities. Orton Plurk for performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Congratulations, all.
Nurney, 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 nurney. I'm sorry, I can't go on.
Hi, friends. Have you ever said to yourself, I would like a career in radio announcing? If the answer to that is yes, then you're going about it in the wrong way. You should say it to someone else. What does it take to become a radio announcer? Well, actually, it takes many things. Do you own your own voice? Can you say 6 silly words without laughing and mean them? Do you have a lot of money? Well, if so, you qualify for enrollment in the Golden Voice Announcer School. I'll bet that you'd never guess from the sound of my voice that I am actually a 67-year-old deaf-mute woman, and that only 9 short years ago I heard a commercial just like this one and was inspired to climb out of my deathbed and enroll. As soon as my check for $13,000 was received, classes began. In addition to announcing, our voice training course will teach you to impersonate TV and motion picture stars like this. Howdy, partner, I'm John Wayne. Or, howdy, partner, I'm Natalie Wood. Isn't that exciting? You can learn to do many other famous persons' voices, like Stanley L. Spiro, Carl Betts, Elena Verdugo, Ferrante and Teicher, or the all-time favorite, Don DeFore. Here's how to take advantage of this limited offer. Send $13,000 and any priceless heirloom to Golden Voice Announcer School, care of Phil's Barber Shop, Waco, Texas. And as a bonus, if you sign up immediately, you will receive an actual recording of Dick Clark, way back in 1956, stuttering and unable to pronounce the word nope. Here is an excerpt from that recording.
Okay, Dick, take 28 coming up. Try to relax now, will you, pal? The word is nope. N-O-P-E, nope. Right, all right, let's hit it. No. All right, Dick, that's it's good. It's coming. Take 29. All right, Dick. Yeah, let's lunch 1 hour.
In addition, for those of you who happen to be listening to this message on a radio, here is a special offer. You will receive your first lesson free if you can identify this photograph of our mystery person. Now, here's a clue to help you out.
The first part's true, the second's a lie, the third remains the same. Put them together and take them apart, and then you will have my name.
How can we guarantee that after taking our course you will have a perfect speaking voice? The answer is simple. Each of our students has an amplifying device surgically inserted in his throat. We call this device our Big Boy Voice. And it is hardly noticeable because externally it resembles half a bow tie. So don't delay. Send your check today and get in on the high-paying action as a famous radio personality. And remember our slogan, if it weren't for your mouth, you'd be talking out of your nose. Ladies and gentlemen, the Erect a Statue of Claudine Lauget in Paris Fund is coming along nicely. So far, we've received 452 francs, 7 bobs, 3 heralds, and 1 herb. Thank you. So many people have asked, what is a nurney? A nurney is to beauty and grace what plastic pink hair curlers are to a supermarket shopper in an egg-stained chenille bathrobe. A nurney is 2 Krellmans joined together at the gums. A nurney is to wit and sophistication what a tattoo of Popeye is to the arm of an orangutan trainer. A nurney can be named Bernie or Ernie, or even be an attorney. Yes, a nurney is to the swift soaring of the human spirit what a skillet of fried mush is to a picnic in Willard, North Dakota. A Boy Scout has learned that by rubbing 2 nurneys together, he can either start a fire or put one out. A Nerney is to the earth what a vat of botulism is to Julia Child's yummy burgers. A singer made this lovable little creature immortal when she sang, "Gonna Take a Sentimental Nerney." A Nerney finally achieves liberation upon becoming insignifiant. This means that any Nerney has the right to punch a Fenork right in the mouth.
Nerney, Nerney, Nerney. Nerney, Nerney, Nerney. Ner, 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 Nerney.
Today, more incredible but true stories. Today, Lusco Klortz, known in science circles as father of the H-bomb, has actually received a Father's Day card each year since 1953 from the H-bomb itself. The Eiffel Tower in Paris, France, is not really made of Eiffel at all. Lyle Schnutz, an unemployed iguana trainer, has perfected a water-cooled gun that actually fires an iguana at an advancing enemy. But Mr. Schnutz is having trouble with the weapon because he uses water from south of the border in it. Although giving the appearance of being overweight, famed comedienne Toti Fields weighs only 92 pounds. This is because she is hollow. Say, when you're out of work, does some nasty lady at the unemployment office come up with a job for you in a matter of minutes? Well, then what you need is the Gary Owens School of Surefire Non-Placement. That's right. At last there's a school to train you to do those things the unemployment people can't possibly find for you. Just look at this list you can choose from. Home butter churn repair engineer, running board sander, parakeet massage specialist, cyclotron gift wrapper, musk ox herder, and hundreds of others. Yes, end that embarrassing business of having them find work for you once and for all. Learn a trade that assures you of your full run of unemployment without the embarrassment of having them actually come up with something in your field for you. Just write or call Schools, Gary Owens, Hollywood. Or show up at any Zeppelin hangar in your area and mention my name. Do it today. In the correlation of human events, a strange juxtaposition sometimes occurs. The number of incredible coincidences between President Richard Nixon and President Abe Lincoln is truly amazing. Both men were born west of Staten Island, New York. Both men have 7 letters in their first names. Lincoln has 2 more letters in his last name. And incredibly, that is exactly the number of daughters Nixon has. Nixon has a press secretary named Ziegler. Spelled backwards, Ziegler is Relgies, and Lincoln is on record as never once having said Relgies. Both men were born in wood houses. Lincoln's son's name was Tad. Nixon's wife is named Pat. The number of letters from D to T is exactly 12, or incredibly enough, the exact number of months in both the year Nixon was born and the year Lincoln died. Lincoln served in Congress 2 years. Nixon served in the Congress 6 years. A difference of 4 years, or the exact age of Nixon's 2 children when they got their first tricycles. A clerk in the State Department during the Lincoln administration was named Leroy Krellman. A White House gardener in the Nixon administration is named Leroy Spooner. Mrs. Nixon has always enjoyed eating bananas. Mrs. Lincoln went bananas. Nixon had a dog named Checkers that died. Lincoln played checkers, and he once had a horse that died. The combined letters of Nixon and Lincoln's names number 26, or exactly one-half Lincoln's age at the time he was elected. Nixon's vice president's name is Spiro, a Greek name. Lincoln's vice president's name was Andrew, and Andrew was once the name of a king of Greece. Incredible, you say? Impossible? But true.
There's a story that they tell in the truck stops late at night. It'll turn your hair gray. It'll turn your skin white. It's the legend of a rig that went wild one day and carried its driver, Willie Jackson, away. He was rolling out of Memphis and the rain was coming down. He thought he'd get some coffee when he stopped at the next town. The freeway sign said Truesville, but a half-mile ahead. If Willie knew what waited there, he'd have drove all night instead. He pulled into a diner, just wanting to get dry. The faded gypsy waitress had the devil in her eye. But Willie didn't see it. That's where he made his slip. He drank and walked back to his truck and didn't leave a tip. About a mile down the road, the truck began to speed. Old Willie stomped down on the brakes, but they refused to heed. It made the turns all by itself, but how could this be real? A screaming 10-ton semi with a demon at the wheel. They say sometimes when it's raining out and everything is still, you can hear old Willie Jackson come a-rolling down the hill. You can hear him moan, you can hear him groan, you can hear him scream and cry. And many people speculate as to the reasons why. Some say it's 'cause he's lonely, some say it's 'cause he's sad, while others say it's just because he's gone stark raving mad. But there's still another reason why he's howling through his tears. He hasn't made a rest stop in 47 years.
Come on, America. Who was it that learned to eat with chopsticks just so that you and your kids can sleep better nights?
Chicka chicka choy choy la da do.
Sure, unemployment's high, and we're not out of Vietnam, but what the hey? Ask yourself, isn't Martha Mitchell worth it? So when you get in that polling booth, remember this. He's your president. He's everybody's president.
Tricky dicky 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 Millhouse.
Hey, America, wouldn't it be fun time if the Democrats were back in?
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
You remember the Democrats, the ones who are fighting that big Republican deficit and are for free money for everybody? Government checks in the mail several times a week, lowering taxes, and yet building bigger and better government buildings, adding to everybody's staff. And don't forget our big issue, we're not in, and they are. Wouldn't you feel safer with a Democrat in the White House? It's not enough to have a small tapestry of FDR standing in front of the Capitol building, enshrined in your home. There's more. Your vote.
Muskie, wow, Humphrey, Zow, Lindsay, Pow, Jackson, Fow, McGovern, now, Yorty. Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen. You know he belongs to the land, and the land he belongs to is sand.
You overlooked him in 1940. You ignored him in 1944. You blew your opportunity in 48. Then again in 52, you wasted another perfectly good presidential vote. He was there and ready in 1956. But where were you? 1960? By then he should have turned his back on you, America. 64? It was as if he wanted to give you one more chance. But no, you wanted Lyndon Johnson. That should have taught you a lesson you'd never forget, America. But it didn't. In 1968, you blew it again. And now, in 1972, the time is right for both you and Harold Stassen. Call it your last time, O land of Lincoln and Washington and Franklin Pierce. Place yourselves in the care of he who did not wash his hands of you in spite of your rejection 8 straight times. Remember, with or without his toupee, he'll lead us and show us the way.
Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, Harold Stassen, oh yeah!
Botch it this time, and that's it. More important dates to remember. 1968, a vintage year for Ripple. July 29th, 1933. As a 3-year-old child, Victor Bono eats 87 cases of Gerber's baby food, plus his nurse. April 6th, 1970. Howard Hughes looks into the mirror at the Desert Inn Hotel in Las Vegas and sees nothing. August 4th, 1967. National Prune and Fig Institute devises plan to use trading cards featuring Bob Cummings and Guy Lombardo. See your doctor before it's too late. And if it's too late, come back in the morning when he's open. There have been many books published which have recorded and measured man's achievements in various fields of endeavor. There are record books dealing with such subjects as sports, politics, and inventions. However, just last week, a new book was published which records all those facts which the other books have left out. We read now from The Lunatics Book of World Records. On June 19th, 1954, the American hawk-biting record was set by 76-year-old Buford Davis when he successfully bit one hawk. Tied for second place is the rest of the population of the world. In January of 1954, Mr. Norrell Whittinghill set a new indoor world's record by becoming the first man to climb inside a baked potato. Moments later, Mr. Whittinghill dove into a giant vat of sour cream and was chived to death. September 1959, at the age of only 8 years, Merwin Zerdner of Burbank, California, wrote a complete opera based on Zsa Zsa Gabor's jewel robberies. And despite the fact the opera was very long, no one listened. The incredible Pfluger twins, who for the past 30 years have dressed exactly alike in matching sequin gowns, a special lunatic award. One to the lovely Margaret Pfluger, another to her equally lovely twin brother, Phil. December 26, 1970, Ernie Kreiling becomes the first man to successfully reach down into his mouth and pull out a vital organ. Mr. Kreiling simultaneously set the record for the world's loudest scream. August 9th, 1968, Dr. Mukner Turgel set a lunatic record by attempting to cure a patient's pneumonia with an unusual method. Dr. Turgel had the patient stand in the middle of a wheat field, flew overhead in a small private plane, and dropped 1,000 pair of wax lips on him. When last heard of, Dr. Turgel was in seclusion, trying to discover a new way to pronounce the letter L. October 12th, 1958, Crandall Dirk marries his 1956 Ford pickup truck. November 16th, 1971, Max Egloff makes a salad using only spare parts from a German Luger. And finally, December 1970, although lost in the desert, Mrs. Willard Murnish survived on a diet of pickle brine and salted goobers for 3½ minutes.
Excuse me, miss. Can you tell me where I can find Sid Glazer, the booking agent?
I'm Sid Glazer. What can I do for you?
Well, we're the Fagerman brothers. We're both 94 years old. I'm Luke.
And I'm Luke.
No, you're not. You're Herb.
Well, then who is this woman? I'm no woman. I'm Sid Glazer. Now, what do you guys want? We're looking for Sid Glazer.
For heaven's sake, I already told you. I'm Sid Glazer.
Well, Mr. Glazer, my brother and me, we got an act, a good act. We want to work.
Sure. Aren't you guys too old to be performing?
Yeah, I guess we are. Come on, Luke. Let's go home.
No, wait a minute. We're not too old. Watch this. How about that?
How about what? You didn't do anything.
I didn't? What exactly didn't I do?
You didn't do anything.
He always leaves that part out.
Look, you're wasting my time. You guys do anything else?
Do we? We have a very unusual act. You see, I stand on the stage facing forward. Then Luke here sneaks up behind me, grabs me by the ankles, and pulls my feet out from under me.
Don't you fall on your face?
Let's go, Luke. He's seen the act.
No, wait. Tell him about the clarinet.
Oh, yeah, the clarinet is a woodwind instrument of the reed variety. Its components comprise the basic...
No. Tell him what you do with the clarinet.
Oh, okay. I come on stage and I start to play Come On to My House on the clarinet. And then my brother here sneaks up behind me and hurls rocks at my face.
I sure do.
Why do you do that?
Because if I don't, we don't got any act.
Do me a favor. Get lost.
My eyes are crossed. Well, good. Did you hear that, Luke? My eyes are crossed. Now we got a new finish for the act.
We got a new fish for the act. Does that mean I'm out? Does the new fish take my place?
There's no fish in our act. We don't have a fish in our act.
Well, Mr. Glazer, that's that. Under no circumstances can my brother and me work for you without our fish.
You guys are both nuts. Get out of my office. Do I have to call the police?
No, don't call the cops, lady. Just answer one question.
What is it?
Which one of us is Sid Glazer?
I'm Sid Glazer.
How do you do? We're the Figgerman brothers. We're both 94 years old. I'm Luke.
And I'm Luke.
Say, here are some useful safety tips that could well help you to live. Never have open heart surgery performed on yourself or a loved one in one of the booths in the Grand Central Market. Number 2, don't throw hot sukiyaki in the face of a 300-pound sumo wrestler. Number 3, avoid getting in a stall shower naked if there is already a king cobra in it. Number 4, do not attempt to roast weenies on the rocket blasts at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Number 5, never stand on the burners of an electric stove while holding on to a wet cougar. Number 7, use caution when attempting to slow or stop an oncoming locomotive with nothing but body pressure. And if you use a waffle iron for a pillow, be sure it is unplugged. And let's all have a safe weekend. Hi, I'm Bert Traveman, and I'm the owner and tribulator of the Traveman School of Double Talk. You're probably asking yourself, why learn to double talk when I can continue to snarf and do just fine? Well, there are many answers to that question, but perhaps the most prevalent is that through double talk, you can develop a whole new sense of goiling. You'll soon be able to look your boss in the face and say, Mr. Brown, if you don't give me a raise, I'm going to Watnick all over your carpet. Or think of how useful it could be in school when your teacher asks you, what happened in 1567 in France? And you reply, wasn't that when King Lefin forfed the Queen and ran away with all of his plaffins? Who can double talk, you ask? Well, anyone who can talk and mafe at the same time. It's as simple as 1, 2, 12. Now, 1, take a deep breath, making sure that your crave is perpendicular to the ground. 2, sprain your tongue and try to relax. And finally, 12, cover both of your trippets and go to town. Now, wasn't that easy? You bet your crawl it was. To find out more, simply send in $16 in a self-addressed Favner to Bert Traveman, care of Schmelman Industries, Forfington, Pennsylvania. Zip code 261 Loif-Hor. Helpline, the number you call when you're desperate and don't know where else to call.
Listen, is this the helpline?
Well, yes, it is, 555-5711.
Yeah, is that the number for the helpline? The number you call is the one last thing you do before...
Well, yes, sir. Just a minute. Did you have any trouble getting through? You know, we've had complaints that sometimes the lines are busy, and if that's the case, we want to add some more lines, because obviously our whole objective is to be available when you people need it.
No. I dialed and I got right through.
Oh, that's good. How am I coming through? Loud enough? Huh? Is this about right? Hello?
Yeah, you're fine. I hear you. Listen, would you listen to me? All my life, people have pushed me around, and nobody,
you're
nobody,
the first one,
not even my mother.
The first one of these calls for me. I agreed to do this shift, and you're the very first one. Now, this kind of thing has always interested me. You know those Harry and what's-her-name Overstreet books about peace of mind? I read those.
Yeah. Look, all my life, both my mother and my father. I'm just gonna get right into it, man. I'm just gonna really trip out and just lay a number on you, man. My girl, man, the chick I really dig. She called me this afternoon and told me like it was over, and. Man, I'm just gonna... It's just Phil, man.
Just a minute. Could you hold on for a minute? This is kind of interesting. I want to get some coffee. Just hold on.
Hello?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh,
Boy, not even any powdered cream. I can't take it black. Yes, now there's something about your mother and father.
No, man. My girl. Well, I mean, it's over. And look, I can't continue, but I am calling this number because... People said to me it might make me change my mind before, man, you know what?
Change my mind, but... Hey, remember that? Excuse me, I couldn't help remembering
what?
that. Boy, Johnny Ray, I think around 1954.
Johnny, what?
Anyway, go ahead. Something about your girl, wasn't it?
Hey, man, you're not helping me. You're making me worse. I thought maybe you'd be the one.
Well, just one more chance. Oh, boy. 2 in a row, huh? That's trouble with being in radio and TV. Even when you get involved in important volunteer work like this, you can't help thinking about those hits. Hey, let me ask you, when did you first notice that you were kind of, flying apart at the bindings?
Hey, man, that's terrible.
Huh?
That is rotten. You're supposed to help people.
Well, now, just a minute.
And you're supposed to help, and you're not helping.
Listen, I only ask that because sometimes I don't feel too stable myself, and I was just curious, was all.
Stable?
Huh?
Wow, man, I think you're sicker than anybody who might call in. You are sick. What you've done to me here, man, is like... It's monstrous and weird.
Now, wait a minute, sir. I don't deserve to be talked to like that. I work a full day, and I come over here and try to help, and you yell at me. I don't have to take it. Nobody can talk to me like you have. It's impossible. It's
impossible. La-da-da-dee-da-da-da. It's impossible. You remember that one?
How did you know that was Sheila's and my song? You're a terrible person to bring that up.
Hello? Hey. By golly, I do feel better. Hey, this helpline is a
great idea. Remember, reliance on the Gary Owens horoscope is a matter of personal choice, left entirely to you. However, only an ignorant, superstitious klutz would fail to realize it is all based upon solid, reasonable, scientific information. Virgo. Avoid milking a mongoose between sunup and 2 p.m., especially if it is fighting a cobra. You may have an affair, but not on the Captain Kangaroo show as you had planned. A bad day to spread wet Kleenex on the third rail of the IRT and lie down on it. Avoid sneaking into the White House and putting coleslaw, Russian dressing, and rye bread all over Henry Kissinger. Turgle. You must lose 45 pounds by sundown. It would be advisable to light candles and pray for a reappearance of Phyllis Diller's old face. Krelker. Get an elderly moose to throw overripe melons at you between the hours of 9 a.m. and midnight. Trade dentures with a friend for the entire day. Libra. You must not attempt to apply mascara to an enraged rhinoceros, now through Thursday of next week. However, it is okay for you to try to hurl former film great Ella Kreinman under a moving tricycle. Scorpio. Tomorrow is the day to use those Wilkie buttons to jab the balloons of carnival vendors, in the morning only. Sagittarius. Stuff yourselves with chicken feathers and tell the admissions clerk at Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital you think the inside of your stomach is molting, but only between the hours of 1 p.m. and sundown. After that, you must be accompanied by Martha Mitchell. Capricorn. Trade your saxophone in for a cow. It will make the same noise and will give milk, too. Donate your collection of lizard nerf to the college of your choice. Remember, Reliance on these astrological forecasts are left solely to the listener. The producers of this record neither confirm nor deny their reliability. We're forced to say that. But you know it is the real stuff.